Okay, so we're going to go through 5 very key tips that have helped me pass my exams, pass the first year, the second year of law school, and also pass all my GCSEs and A-levels. These are things that I do now, have done for such a long time, have really helped me. Some things that might not help you, but I hope that you leave this video learning something new or even giving it a go, because you just never know. It might sound insane, but when you do it, it could potentially really help you. So without further ado, let's start. My first tip is to break down your revision in terms of how many hours you study during the day. If you're the kind of person who studies from the AM to the PM without no breaks, just a constant marathon of studying, I feel like you're just going to congest your mind and just overload your mind and your brain. So what I suggest doing is waking up a little bit earlier than you would naturally and normally. Get everything done in the morning, sit down and revise for a couple of hours, 1 to 2 hours. Just revise, no distractions, just you, your books, your laptop, whatever you need to be doing. Sit for 2 hours and revise. So let's say I wake up at 8 o'clock, get everything done, and I'm ready to revise 10 till 12. I'm going to sit and revise with no distractions for 2 hours. I'm going to take the afternoon off for about 3 hours, and at 3 o'clock I'm going to revise again. So at 3 till let's say 5 p.m. I'm going to be revising, and I'm going to be studying either the same topic or another topic, depending on how you feel and depending on whether you need to study something to understand it more. After that, I'm going to take another 2 to 3 hours off, just relaxing, doing what I need to do, having my dinner, going to the gym, etc. Afterwards, at night time, I'm going to sit for an extra hour to 2 hours, and I'm going to revise again. This is from my personal experience. You don't feel like you have to sit there and you have to revise non-stop, because I can't think of anything worse than having to sit AM to PM in a library or in a room studying over and over and over again. Knowing me, I'll probably forget everything by the first hour. Tip number 2, revise in different locations. Okay, I've said this before and this might sound completely insane, but just bear with me. I find, and I have found, that if I study a certain topic in a certain location, when it comes to the exam, I remember that location, I remember the sounds, I remember the smells. Honest to God, this sounds so weird, and you're probably sitting there thinking she's actually high, but I'm not. This honestly helps. So for example, I have 3 topics. Let's say I revise company law in Starbucks, I revise business law at home, and I'll revise equity and trust in a library. They're different locations, and I will always revise that module in that location. I'm not sure what the name is called, so if you know what I'm chatting about, just put it down below. But this really helps me. My teacher used to tell us, back in, I want to say high school for Americans to know what I'm talking about secondary school, and he used to tell us to actually put sticky notes around the house, and then you write a short answer so you remember. So I'm going to throw one out there. 2 plus 2 is 4. Let's say that's what you would put, and you would stick that on your toilet seat, and before you lift it you would always see that. Or you'd put one on your fridge, you'd put one on your door, your bedroom door, just before you would shut it for the night. And just little things like this, and when you close your eyes you will know where that sticky note is and you will remember the answer. Number 3 is going to be take goddamn breaks. Whatever you're freaking doing, and just not having a break. Just literally running a marathon. Do not be doing that. You're going to be absolutely exhausted. Half the time you're not even going to remember most of it. It's exhausting. You need a break. You need some water. You need some hydration. You need some fuel to keep on going. So please do not sit there for a long amount of time with no food, with no hydration, and just trying to get it all down, trying to get it all cramped into your head, because you're not going to remember it all. You need time to recuperate, you need time to remember, and you need time to digest everything. You're not going to remember everything in one day, so just take it easy. That leads me to the fourth tip, and that is to revise early. I always study 2 months in advance of my exams. So my exams tend to be at the end of January, so I'll always start mid-November, so roughly this time. And what I like to do is I like to do a couple of hours a day to begin with. My memory of what we just learned and what the lecturer had just gone through. And once I've done that, I get all my notes organised. I cannot stress this enough. If you are writing everything in one booklet, 3 modules, 4 modules in one booklet, you're going to mess everything up. Have a booklet for each subject, each module. Highlight it. Have a different highlighter for a different module. So you know that blue is for science, red is for maths, green is for English. Separate notes, separate documents, separate highlighters. Easy to flick through. If you leave everything last minute, I don't need to tell you that. It's common sense. You're not going to remember everything. You're going to cram everything in, and it's only going to be a memory game. £9,000 a year to not remember things, but to learn things. Do not try to remember things. Do not try to think about exams as a memory game. You need to show the examiner that you know what you're talking about, that you understand what you're talking about. You can criticize a certain topic, a certain theory, you can analyze information, and you know what you're saying when you're writing it. If you're just memorizing things, most of the times you're never going to really actually remember it in the long run. So if you want to be a lawyer and you're trying to just remember a case for the sake of remembering it and not actually reading the judgment or reading what was said, when it comes to the future, you're not going to remember anything about that case. The judgment is actually more important than you knowing the actual name of a case. Because you can go into an exam and you can say, Lord Judge Justice said, and you don't even need to mention the case. The examiner will know what you're referring to, and it will be much more impressive you knowing what a judgment is and what the outcome was than you just writing the name of a certain case. Number 5 has to be probably the most important thing out of all of the tips I've just given you. Number 5 is you need to eat. Fueling your body, your mind. You need to be eating food full of micro and macro nutritions. Don't worry, I'm going to be doing a whole video on revision snacks and study snacks, so I hope that's really going to help you. But for now, my best tip is to have a water bottle. I used to get a 2 litre, well I still do, 2 litre water bottle right in front of me with a little bit of squash or some fresh lemons in there, cucumber, mint, whatever you fancy. And I literally used to put it right in front of me. So whenever I used to write and I looked up, I knew I needed to take a sip of water. If I had put that water bottle at the bottom of my chair or in my bag, I would have not remembered to drink water. I'm telling you that now. And being hungry whilst revising and being dehydrated. Because most of the time when you're studying, when you're reading, when you're writing ahead and you're hungry, you're thinking more about shit, I need to eat, or shit, I'm really hungry, than thinking about what the book is saying, what you're trying to remember, trying to revise. So seriously, just keep hydrated, keep fed, and honestly, before you start revising, eat a very good breakfast full of nutrition, eat a good lunch, a good dinner, even healthy snacks, have them ready by your side. Because if you're hungry, you're not going to be digesting everything that you read. So yeah, so those were my top 5 tips. I mean, I have so many other tips, like even having a little mini break to just stretch, or in my student plan, the student guide that I offer, I tell the students in there to do the mini circuits that I have incorporated. They're quick 25-minute full body circuits that you can do in between your sessions, and they're just to get your heart rate up. You're obviously keeping really fit whilst revising, and you're keeping your body and your mind active. So yeah, when I was writing the student plan, I really wanted to incorporate exercise into this because I think exercise has kept me so goddamn sharp. Honest to God, before exercise I would drift away and I would think about other things, but when I revise now, I'm so focused on what I'm revising, and I honestly think that's due to my nutrition and due to exercising and keeping my body and my mind really active, really alert, sharp. So that's why I've incorporated the 25-minute full body blasters into the plan, because honest to God, I think it's vital to exercise whilst you are revising. You might not think you have time, do something at home. Like those 25-minute body workouts, they're at home. You don't need to go to the gym, you don't need any weights. They're you and your body, and you're keeping yourself alert, alive and active, and you're not slouching about, and you're not saying to yourself, I don't have any time to go to the gym, because you do have time. You've got to make time, okay? That's me being blunt and brutal, and I'm telling you how it is. You do have time, you need to make time. Okay, so those were my top tips. I really hope they were somewhat helpful and you learned something new. I'm sorry if some of them were repetitive or you've heard them before, but honestly, just I hope you try at least one or two, or just let me know what your tips are down below. Make sure to subscribe to this channel because I'm going to be having so many more tips on revision and healthy snacks, and just to keep us going through this hectic time. And also make sure you follow me on Instagram. I'll pop it down below here. And if you would like the student plan, I'm going to link it below. So I'll link it straight to the website. And you know, if you have any questions, don't hesitate. Pop me an email. I love emails. I respond to them within 24 hours personally. I'm not very good at direct messages on Instagram. I know people get really annoyed about that, but you must remember that direct messages, literally, if I don't reply within a day, it will go, it will get lost. But with emails, they're right there, they don't disappear. And you know, God forbid I ever got hacked on Instagram, your private messages will be exposed to this random person, and I never ever want that. But with an email, it's so much more secure, and I reply and I see it and I can have a proper conversation with you, and it's not also restricted to the amount of characters that you can use. So please don't hesitate to email me. I'm always here for you. Don't panic, we're in this together. And revision is hard, studying is really hard, exams are very hard, they're not meant to be easy, but you can do it, you will do it. It's hard now, but it's going to be worth it. So thank you so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed. Remember, we've got a degree to get and a booty to goddamn grow. So I love you always and forever. Bye.